Alright, so in the previous section we have discussed about road intersections. Now in this section we are going to take a look into a different aspect of procedural road system, which is time of the day. So time of the day essentially I'm going to implement to showcase you guys how our procedural road system related components can react to the dynamic times of computer games, such as like there could be daytime, nighttime cycles, and maybe at the night time, let's just say the street lights should be turned on, and later on we are going to implement some vehicle AIs. So at the night time, the vehicles should automatically toggle the vehicle headlights. Likewise, our procedural road system should react to the dynamic changes of the level, such as time. So in order to sort of like showcase those features, I'm going to create a time of day system within the procedural road system as a subsystem. So we'll be have that foundation layer to implement such features later on. Okay, so probably this one would be a sort of a big section, but anyway, I'm going to try to keep everything brief as possible. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So yep, so the first thing we have to do is create a new level. So maybe I'm gonna duplicate the map showcase level again and call this one as map underscore TOD. TOD stands for time of day, just a short term. Open that up, and I don't need these mannequin characters or this ramp, and I'm gonna close all the open tabs. Okay, so we have a fresh level now. Now let's get started. The first thing I'm gonna do is create a time of day manager component like we did before for the level manager. So ideally this manager actor will handle the time of the day context of the current level. Okay, so for that let's create a new, sorry, not a level, let's create a new blueprint class which is an actor. I'm going to call this one as bp underscore TOD manager. And then over here we have to add an arrow component, also a billboard, just to visualize it's on the level. Maybe I will add 100 offset like we did for the level manager, and then we can give it a sprite. So for the sprites we have these textures on the billboard, and I'm going to use this TOD manager. And maybe we can have a bit more lower absolute scale, maybe like 0.3 by 0.3 by 0.3. Right, then I can drop it to here. Let's get the managers, drop it to here. Okay, right, now what I have to do is I have to move all of these directional lights, exponential height, fog, sky atmosphere, skylight, sky sphere, volumetric crowd, all of those elements related to the lightnings I have to move to the TOD manager so that I will be able to control this stuff globally. So there are two approaches. Either I can plug these things as references to the TOD manager, so this component will be exist on the level like this, or the second approach is I can move all of these components to the TOD manager so that everything will be within this specific act. So I prefer following the second approach because in such a way I have much more modular design and I have a better controllability over the components. Right, so this is quite straightforward. All I have to do is just grab the directional lights. I'm gonna copy the reference, go to here, and I'm gonna paste it over there. So it has this arrow component. I don't know why it has arrow component, but I just need a directional light. Then similarly, let's copy the exponential height fog, paste it there. But yeah, I think copying and pasting could be a bit of a hassle. Maybe let's directly add component. Right, so I'm gonna first add directional light, and then I'm gonna add exponential height fog, and then there should be sky atmosphere. Okay, so now you can see we're slowly trying to have sort of a lightning effect within the actor instance itself, and you can see even the current level has been affected due to that overlapping sky atmosphere and other lightning components. Right, so up next we have to add the sky light, and one thing is that we have to add all of this stuff to the default scene root. Right, the next one is sky light, and then we need sky sphere. So there is no instance called sky spheres, so all I have to do is add a static mesh first and rename this one as sky sphere, and as the static mesh I have to add this one, which comes from the engine content. So I just go to that specific directory and let's simply plug it over here. This is just a very large static mesh. Right, and then we need volumetric cloud. Okay. Right. So I think so far these elements would be enough, and we already have some effect here. We have some sky, some clouds, and we have sun over here, and lightning also seems okay. So let's compile and save, and I'm gonna go to the map TOD. Now we can get rid of all of these elements because at the TOD manager actor level, all of those components will be handled. So I'm going to remove everything one by one, and after the folder also. Right, so this is pretty much of a good setup, but you can see the sky sphere is too much small. We can't have this much smaller sky sphere because you can see if you go outside it won't be that much pretty, right? So we have to enhance the sky sphere scale. Just select the sky sphere static mesh, and as the scale, maybe let's give it a very large scale like 400 by 400 by 400. This is just an extremely large static mesh. Okay, so now you can see if I try to move within the level, I can't reach to the sky sphere. Right, and this directional light is essentially controlling the sun orientation. So maybe like I can increase its intensity little bit, maybe let's just say 15 lux, so you can see the intensity of the level changes, but I would prefer having 10 because that's the default value. Okay, then the exponential height fog, it's basically defines some sort of a fog within the level. So here you can see there is a fog on the on this bound, so maybe you can increase the fog density up to maybe 1. So it's too much, maybe 0.2. Compile and save. Now you can see you have pretty much large fog. But anyway, let's revert it back to 0.02. So I just want to showcase the features that we can tweak. Right. And the skylight is also an important part because that will essentially control the light of this sun. So you can have like a maybe red color, compile, so it will affect to the level, right? But I would prefer having plain old white color, so it will be look like this. Okay. And what else? And we have like this small warning here. It says multiple directional lights are competing with each other, and adjust the forward shading priority. So you can do that if you select the directional light and just search for forward shading priority, and currently it's 0. Maybe if I make it as 1, yeah, that warning has been gone away. Compile and save. Okay, now we have better lightning, right? And here at the horizon we have this red color. We should be able to change that if I select the I'm not quite sure, maybe sky atmosphere. So let's control its visibility and see how it works. Maybe at the horizon. Right here you can see if I control the visibility of the sky atmosphere, that effect has been gone. So if I just disable it, here you can see we don't have that atmospheric effect anymore. And it's not that much good because you can see that the fog is, it's sort of like becoming pitch black, which is not quite blending with the lights. So if I enable it back, you can see now the fog is sort of like blending properly, but we have this like red color effect. It is happening because let me see. Yeah, maybe for now let's keep the configuration as it is. Later on, when I'm defining some functions, we should be able to change this value. Okay, so maybe it seems like this directional light rotation is at the 0 position. So be like if you change the rotation, not for the roll actually, but for the pitch, now you can see how it affects to the bird, right? So later on actually we are going to have our own sun attached with this directional light, so this issue will be fixed. Okay, but currently like the rotation is sort of at the 0 position over here, so that's why that red bloom effect is there. Okay, maybe just for the time being I'm gonna give it like maybe not a positive value, but it should be a negative value. Yeah, maybe -40 like this. And now it seems not this level actually. Yeah, you have to go to this level. Yeah, now it seems bit okay, right? But of course this is just very basic setup, because here you can see actually the sun is there and the direction light is coming from here, which is not quite correct. So we'll fix all of those stuff later on, but just for the time being, I think this is our setup. Okay, so in the next tutorial, let's see how we can improve this time of the day further.